Due to the complete botch up of the tube bender with this ruined piece of exhaust pipe, basically I just have two almost 5 foot long, probably 4.5 feet long straight pipes to work with. I sought other options, and over here I got from a local supplier a Walker tailpipe for an 80s Wagoneer, and it's like it I'm going to have to put an extension here, which I will weld on, probably a couple feet to the muffler. At the back end, probably another 1.5 feet that way, so I will cut off this portion here that's bent and just weld it straight through. It fits in there perfect. The arm of the shock comes up through here, since they're lever shocks. And the axle is right here. Has about 4 inches of play, or travel rather. And this is not an 8-inch travel car, so I don't expect any problems with that at all. Now, today, I'm trying to fit this prefabricated pipe, which is actually for somewhere in the early 80s Wagoneer and a bunch of other Chrysler products. I'll give the rundown of what it fits. There's a long list. I got this from a local parts supplier for $26 Canadian. I paid 64 bucks for straight pipe. And this fits the Cadillac very nicely. This end is the tail end, and that is the best way to put it into the Cadillac. So what I have to do is cut this off, because this has to run longer, out to about there or so, to clear the bumper on the Cadillac. So what I do, since I don't have something that runs around here, this size of pipe, is I clamp it with a cloth and rotate it, cutting what appears to be perpendicular across, and then I rotate it and I cut some more, and then I rotate it this way and I cut from this side, and I keep working around like that until they meet up. And then I can correct for however much I've wandered off. It seems to work, so I'll do that. I'll foul off the burrs, and then I will join up the pipe, and I'll have to weld it in this case because they're both 2 1/4. So here's the tailpipe extension. After cutting it and filing and make sure it fit good, or very well, and then the welding, which I've ground down. I didn't show you before because it was pretty ugly. And I'll check for any cracks in there. And I might have to weld it a little bit more, but we'll see. And then I have to do that end there. But I will put it in the car and mount it, and then I'll measure that. So this is what I've done so far with the exhaust pipe. Not the way I wanted to do it, but with the pipe bender debacle and this kind of lousy workmanship and breaking and everything and having to take it back, see a previous episode. This is what I'm doing now. So I bought the one tailpipe that fits an 80s Wagoneer. At first I thought it was going to fit perfectly, but it had too much of a bend here coming across like this. And since I couldn't bend anything, and I tried various ways to bend this pipe without kinking it, I ended up just cutting it in various places, which is not what I wanted to do, and then rotating it to where I wanted it, tacking it, making sure it all fits, and then I'll weld this all up and I'll grind it down like I did on the other end, which I will show you. So I've got 3 joints there. This is just an extension to go to the muffler. So that should work. It seems to fit. And this is the extension I put on a few days ago. Ground it down and painted it with aluminum paint, which will probably melt off, but for now it looks good. So, jack up the car. It's on stands now, so I have to extend the suspension to get the pipe in. So I'll jack it up on the frame on one side, pipe goes in, make sure I've got all the angles right, and then I will weld it up, grind it, and paint it. The adjustments continue. There it is, one exhaust system. Exiting the proper side of the car, right here. Going through the springs. I have to shorten that strap yet. Didn't turn out as well as I wanted, but it is certainly usable. And it should be less restrictive than the original. And through the X member of the frame into the muffler. I've just used a ring you can buy to go around the two pipes since they're the same size, and I don't have a flaring tool or a pipe expander. And now I just have to do the back mount of the muffler, but everything holds position. It's solid, can't wiggle it, so it'll be better once I do this, and then I'll make sure that the muffler can't sag as well up ahead. So, not exactly as I wanted, but it will work. I have the car jacked up now. That's the only way the pipe will go into place. Now for the completed exhaust system. So the downpipe is original to the car. I didn't change that, it was in good shape. So I've replaced the muffler. This is a Walker flow through. Well, it's not straight through. It makes a loop in there. You can see the inlet is on the opposite side to the outlet. I've replaced the tailpipe with a 2 1/4 inch pipe. I made this bracket up here. You can see it. Flat bar goes across to the frame. The X member. Then I have a smaller rubber mount than I wanted. That's the best I could get short notice. And then that bolts to the frame on the other side. So it holds it well for now. I'm not sure how long it will last. I have 2 clamps because I just put a ring on there to clamp. So I clamped it on the tailpipe and on the muffler. It clears the X member going through. It's all nice and sturdy. It goes back there. A little more botched up over the axle than I wanted, but everything is solid. It's got good clearance to the tire for the rear hanger, and then it's got another hanger at the back. One of the difficult things with this tailpipe is that it has to exit the muffler fairly flat, and then it goes up over the axle, and then it goes down at the back to exit the car. That was the biggest thing I had trouble with. And then getting the loop over the axle to match all of that geometry. So, not nearly as good as I had in my mind that I would do it, but that's the way it goes. Not factory approved, you know. So I hope that helps. This is all MIG welded with flux core. So I've ground down the welds because they get pretty ugly. Splatters everywhere. And I just painted aluminum paint over top of the pipe after I'd ground it. Wire brushed the smoke off of it. And let's see how it lasts. There's the exhaust. I'm going to cut the tailpipe off a bit. It's a bit long, but other than that, don't hear a leak, but I'll listen a little closer. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or even notify, or any of the above, or all of the above. Thank you.